Burchett from Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kind of in the middle here. Is it possible to provide aid to Afghanistan without that aid benefiting the Taliban?
We believe it is, and we believe that we do so, and we believe that we have systems in place to make sure that that assistance is going directly to the Afghan people. And I offer that without any illusions about just how difficult an operating environment it is.
But it's funny you say that because the Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction has said it is impossible to provide aid without benefiting the Taliban. So I'm a little worried that the U.S. aid is making its way to the Taliban, and you're telling me that's not happening.
I'm telling you that we have very, very rigorous processes in place to make sure that none of our assistance is diverted. When we have concerns, as I was just mentioning earlier, we work with our implementing partners to take swift action. We have been willing to suspend assistance to make sure that any of those concerns are addressed, okay. Precisely because we share your concerns that the Taliban does not benefit from our program.
Of that aid sent to Afghanistan, how much do you think is paid? Is just paid to the Taliban for taxes, fees, rent, and other bills? Is there any? Is that being tracked?
It is being tracked, and I would offer that there is a distinction between aid diversion and things like payment of utility bills. And just for an example, for the midwives that we seek to support in Afghanistan, they need running water. They need electricity to be able to deliver healthy babies. We would not suggest to our implementing partners that they not pay their utility bills.
I appreciate that. Would it surprise you that Cigar polled 37 NGOs, that's non-government organizations, and they found $10.1 million tax dollars that were paid to the Taliban? And, you know, they just polled 37, and from my perusal, there's literally hundreds of those. So that's kind of contradicting what you all are saying. I'm really concerned what's going on with your organization.
Well, I would offer, sir, and we're happy to come up and talk to you about this in more detail. And we have certainly talked to Cigar about this, that in arriving at that $10.1 million figure, they amalgamated a number of different categories. I would not consider, for example, the payment of utility bills to be a support for the Taliban in the ways that I know concern you and concern us.
Well, so I'm just a little confused. One group's saying it doesn't, you're telling me it doesn't exist. The other body is saying it does. I'm glad that we passed a bill at the end of last year that's supposed to require the State Department to track this number and report it to Congress. I'm hoping that the President sees fit to sign that into law. It sure does send a conflicting message out. Are y'all comfortable with the partnership between the Taliban and China?
So look, the Chinese are pursuing a very different policy from the United States vis-a-vis Afghanistan. They still have an embassy operating. They're leaning pretty far forward in terms of business activities. But from what we can tell, the sort of flash of the commitment you hear from Beijing, there's not great data to back it up around sort of a major, huge BRI or CPEC play in Afghanistan.
Well, last year the Chinese inked a $1.5 billion oil deal with the Taliban. What's the State Department doing about that to combat that influence?
We don't see Afghanistan as a place where we need to compete with the Chinese and the Russians. You know, as for this particular deal, I'd be happy to follow up, but I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, real quickly, has has an implementing partner ever been harmed as a result of y'all providing cigar information? Simple yes or no. I'm out of time.
Yeah, no, and apologies about that. I would like to come back and talk to you about this question in a separate setting, precisely because we don't want to create additional risk for any of our partners or for the Afghan people.
Thank you, Congressman Burchett. We now proceed to
Mr.
Congressman
Chairman, I would ask the chair to make that happen. We've got a lot of questions that
Hear, hear.
can't seem to be answered, and at some point, Congress needs to know. We are, as the Constitution tells us, we're over this, and we should be, I think we should be exercising our ability. If not, I think we ought to start cutting some funds, which is long overdue.
I agree with